Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. This week around, of course, we had both an offense and defense bonus mythic. So we had an alright time this season, some boosts on offense, boosts on defense, but at the end of the day, we still made it to tier 39. I think one of the notable things this week on defense, of course, was the fact we were running Brazier as our bonus defense mythic. So this meme line of calves is not as great, but we did introduce Legendary Sigurd with Rally Speed and Pass for folks who don't bring Mirror Save. Or if they do bring Mirror Save, they don't position correctly. So we can get some extra offensive presence, also overlapping threat ranges a bit. So that's, of course, it's all the usual shenanigans. People will go snipe down Odor, typically leave. That's a common strategy people employ. And if you know what you're doing, it's fine. It's just, in this case, this person is just going in. Probably because they have nothing really great to do in terms of options. But of course, that's not going to end well, because we have a bunch of nukes walking around, and now Doom is also in bandit range, which could spell trouble for them, but they already have the trouble of having over half of their units in range of our units, so that's a problem in of itself. As a unit, Thrasher's definitely fallen off. Remix will probably do something.
There is nothing to fear.
Not entirely sure what.
Can't be happening.
At least killing intent should get upgraded as well. So that would be nice. Here, Lilin is just going after Familiar for absolute overkill. Not entirely sure why. And once again, we have another one. We'll fix that after this replay. Olivia picking up
Not
the
good
kills
enough.
somehow. I mean, if Regan's at 1 HP, it's usually a kill. But Doom is still in vantage range, which is definitely a problem for them. They can pick up some kills here, but there's too many of our units left for them to deal with. And since Legendary Sigurd isn't running Crusader's War, they actually pick up a totally not rigged 1-round KO, but we're just trying out Mass. This definitely didn't really do anything this week. I feel like Crusader's War is almost always better for us. Because at this stage of the raids, most people going up against us will have a save option being if they want to use it. I just don't feel like Mass is really worth it. But, you know, we'll keep using it for the heck of it just to see how it goes. But yeah, again, the problem is Duma says hello. And that, I mean, I don't think Duma can actually one-shot, of course, but they've just lost too many units, so it's just a surrender. But now, going to talk about offense this week. We used kind of a jank team this week. Decided to have Atri as our legendary carry of sorts, but he was definitely fine. Definitely, keep saying definitely. But we used her a lot for hit and runs turn 1 and other shenanigans. A lot of setups were kind of weird in that respect, and speaking of weird,
A blessing.
their Winter Altina unable to take out Legendary Sigurd, so that's just the Ripperonis, of course. That's what always happens when Winter Altina misses the kill against the nuke. And Thrasher actually getting some value out of her dragon effective damage, of course negating Fang's going off, so that.
Won't you
But
just
we
die?
have killing intent for the built-in desperation, so Pouring can't even counter to go for a kill, meaning Rip. Speaking of Rip, Thor gets exactly, well, not exactly one shot, but basically exactly one shot. Which is not great for them. Match is basically over at this point, of course. I like how I said in the first replay I was going to get rid of the alarm notification, and then they proceed to not do that. But we definitely had we had a couple of matches where we sacked one unit. I think the first time was just us goofing. Another one was we just got chased down and couldn't really do anything about it. We ended up having to sack a unit. There's a couple of matches where we did some AI manipulation to prevent their team from sniping any of our units down after we did a hit and run. But the most notable sack play was intentional to some degree. But it was kind of because I forgot Makoto's design has cancer control. So I decided to do a turn 1. It was a dual save team with Harmonized Catria. And so I wanted to snipe down their Mirabilis turn 1 for the fun of it. And of course the problem with that is they have cancer control. So I had all these plans to go hit and run with cancer control and manipulate the AI to prevent any snipe down, even with dual prom and Harmonized Catria shenanigans. And also the Valentine Lucino and Future Vision. There's all sorts of shenanigans that could have happened, and we set it up so that wouldn't happen. But of course, I forgot that Makoto had Kanto control, so rather than snipe down Mirabilis and Fiddle in Kanto one space. So we just had to sack her, and match was relatively clean after that. But it's pretty hard for us to beat this kind of teams.
Be careful.
Simply because of the Kanto control. Our team relies a lot on hit and run to win, since it is, of course, the one unit offense only shenanigans. So I'm guessing they just surrendered because they ended up, because they ended up losing 2 units here. A decent amount of rematches this week as well. This is one of them, up against a save ball shenanigan team. Interesting use of feints when there's no rally skill on Naga. Not entirely sure what the deal is with that. There's just no rallies on the entire team. So I kind of failed to understand. They probably just goof their skill sets, or it's one of those things where you run Naga on multiple teams, and so this is just a case of Naga being on the team purely to be a bonus mythic, and not so for the utility. Probably on another team there's a rally bot with Ruse or some sort, for that kind of support with Feint. I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, Legendary Luna going to get walled by Valentine Robin. So not a surprise there. Extra 28 points of res during combat. And well, Senator Yarn also going to Potato, but at least he totally gets to do some damage with her Luna.
To protect my friends.
That's pretty much why we run Luna. Because a lot of things come
Delivered with love.
So bad. But when Ascended Legend doesn't have any bonus on her, she super all she is at that point is a terrible stat skill. At least when she has a bonus active, she's a stat skill. Can neutralize all of the effects that deny follow-up attacks, or whatever you want to call it. Prevent follow-up attacks. But here now we have Fatal Smoke, I guess. But the notable thing here, of course, is now their Plumeria is out of range of their near save unit, so of course naturally Legendary Figure is going to say hi, which is not great for them.
There is nothing to fear.
Unit here.
I knew it.
But you know, at least Legendary Figure did one shot. First there was the damage reduction. Olivia getting the extra movement mode just gets the Potato into Halloween mode, so not great for us. speaking of Halloween Murder, though, the next update did drop with the refine, so I guess we can talk about that while the replays are going on. I mentioned Halloween Murder just because the base Thune got a refine. Pretty decent refine. Could have been better, but at least she can now neutralize penalties during combat when she's getting initiated into, which is definitely nice. Because before having to be below 100% HP, once you're below 100% HP, you kind of stay below 100%, but before then, you're stuck at 100% HP for your first combat, so that's definitely nice. But it also procs, of course, if you had some sort of penalty of sorts. So I guess it didn't matter that much, but it's just more consistent that way. And then you have the thing of Caden's refine, of course, which was the unit I was most excited for. And from what I've heard, there's a translation error on his refine, so he does get plus 10 attack and speed during combat when he's within 3 spaces of an ally, which is fantastic for us, because that means 1, he can do more damage, and 2, he'll get doubled less often. And most of the time, we don't want Caden to get doubled, because we're trying to either stall for picking up ether structures or whatnot, and also it just helps him against speed-based damage reduction, or just doubling things in general. So it's definitely great for us to get that, but the main thing, based off of what I've heard on the mistranslation, is that he gets the Tana Baton effect, which is he gives allies within 2 spaces of him guard and plus 2 defense and res during combat. I don't remember if it's both phases, because I haven't used Tana Baton in a long time, but that is absolutely insane for Nino. Because of course, one of the banes of Nino's existence is specials, especially on units like Dual Lift. A lot of people, when they run them, they'll run them with a 2 cooldown special, so if Nino baits into him, he attacks once, Nino counters, and then procs his 2 cooldown special, which could be Moonbow, Ruptured Sky, doesn't really matter. The point is it's extra damage from Dual Lift, which makes it really hard for Nino to deal with. I don't know if I even showed structure level, but remaining structure levels there. So with that, Nino just basically has to take raw attacks, and even against like Legendary Sigurd, that would mean she wouldn't have to take 2 Holy Knight Auras, which means it is feasible for Nino to base tank some Legendary Sigurd, which sounds funny. I can't wait to pull off something silly like that, but having that guard as an option is a huge game changer for sure. Here they're gonna go ahead and just have a Fallen Ale Guard hit and turn, of course. She's running Gale Force, so her damage output's hot garbage. Which means Legendary Sigurd can just get a free attack off, get rid of her damage reduction, and he also procs the Fatal Smoke on her, so no longer heal the rest of the turn.
I knew it.
But the main thing here is we got the +1 movement from Holy Knight Aura, so Oder can just pick up 2 kills casually. And this one's just a sad rigged 1-round KO, feels bad. Otherwise he probably could have just 1-round KO Dragon, but because he had that rigged 1-round KO, pick up that kill there. And Fallen Aelgard is barely going to survive Legendary Lona here. He is running a more res-based set, so he does have the res to base tank, but at a whopping 5 HP, Duma says no more survival for you. And that's a rip from all of Caden's refine is definitely fun. The Mbulu refine on Veld also kind of fun. But of course, if he's up against a tome user, his weapon is kind of... But other than that, there's plenty of units who aren't tome users. Being able to initiate and get some damage reduction, more attack and speed. I think it was +10 attack and speed. And also preventing counterattacks, definitely pretty nice. Then there's Thea, who basically got Stat Stick and Guard. So I think her special refine, if I remember correctly, is Bonus Doubler, which in this meta with tons of lulls running around, or just ways to screw around with field buffs, not the greatest, but I'm sure she'll find a niche in certain modes where those kind of skills don't show up as often.
To shreds.
They're pretty much in every mode, but some modes like duels you won't
Your
see
life is forfeit.
duels as often. They're definitely still common because duels are solid, but people like Kanto a lot in duels. But here, this person is just going for a Gale Force Sweep, which is definitely an option against this team.
Corin's the
Of course, the
coolest.
main thing they have to worry about here is Duma, because he's in Vantage range now. That's the only trade-off they have. Let's see if they can find a way to take care of Duma. So far, looking okay. Of course, the big thing though is we're memeing by leaving the healing tower in the center of the map, so they can choose to not break it like they've done so far here. And Duma's just going to heal out of Vantage range. So again, this is just us memeing and not being serious. If we were being serious about our defense, we would have our healing tower to the side, where Duma is less likely to get healed out of Vantage. But at least to make it not absolutely mean, we have it so that at least for this turn he doesn't get healed, but again, they can just wait because they have all the turns in the world. They can't deal with Vantage on Duma yet, so they can just go about that. Looks like they just broke the healing tower, so they're just going for the kill. I'm guessing someone can face tank the hit, and it's going to be Thor. Seems about right. Of course, Duma got his remix as well, so we'll talk about that next replay. If he had his remix here, he wouldn't have as big of a problem missing the Vantage kill there, but I think he still would have missed it. Because Duma remix, Upheaval Plus, perfectly fine. I didn't expect much more out of the remix on Upheaval. But his actual Fell Breath Refine, pretty because his special refined proc condition requires him to initiate or be within 2 spaces of an ally. So in instances where, like in the last replay, he was the last unit left, the special refine doesn't do anything, which is horrible. And so that just means that, well, we don't get a lot of mileage. And speaking of not getting a lot of mileage, Ascended Bjorn, no match for Legendary Villain is an AoE special. And well, Legendary Sigurd's got pass.
On your guard. Which
is probably the only time pass mattered for this entire match, but I mean, we'll take it. Yeah, that's a big problem too, because he gets some belt damage based off of the difference between his attack and opponent's res. He also gets some more attack.
Think of the plan.
I believe he debuffs the opponent's attack as well. All of that is tied to initiating combat or being within 2 spaces of an ally, so not great. Of course, he also didn't get anything to protect against Elamine, so there's that problem as well. I don't mind if folks use false start on Elamine on Duma, because it just means they're not using false start on another one of my units, unless they run multiple copies, by which case we were screwed to start with anyways. We're not gonna typically beat multiple elements, no matter what shenanigans we pull. That's Duma here, going to be able to pick up a one-shot, which is nice. We'll definitely be able to one-shot more often post-remix, which will be nice with our main Vantage set, but again, the proc condition on his special refine is going to be a problem when he's the last unit remaining, or he's just too far away from allies. Both of which are pretty common because he doesn't have armor boots or anything here.
Be careful.
Well, Duma gets to use Vantage here, so Duocron gets absolutely obliterate him. That's why we run Vantage. It's basically not checkmate, of course, because Duma gets healed by healing tower. But I'm guessing Duocron is unable to take out Duma. She's got plus 6 res, and she's at 1 HP. So of course, attack speed push 4 is not active. And there's also, of course, Bright Shrine debuffing.
We've been detected.
Are making it hard for Duocron to 1v1 Duma. Trying to think, who else got a refine? I'm forgetting someone. Who got a refine that I'm forgetting? I'm probably just super brain dead and blanking out. Let's see, there was Duma. There's Thea, there's a Sue, there's a Kaden. There's Veld. Pretty sure there's another unit. Who am I forgetting?
Just like father.
It's gonna be such a face home when I remember, isn't it? Yeah, I don't remember. Was it just 5 this match? I can't remember. Pretty sure it was 6.
We need to protect
I'm gonna have to go look after this. But clearly, if I don't remember the refine, that means it wasn't that great in my opinion. I'm pretty certain there's 6 refines. But here, Ascended P-Arm gets to survive. Legendary Lilina because she wasn't hit by the AoE special, which is one of her problems. But it still lost the unit, so just a surrender here. Ah, right. Picnic Cody. She's just so uncommon nowadays. You just never see her ever, except if there's a big Felicia fan, or they're doing some sort of picnic themed team, you just do not see her around. Her refine is okay, it's not enough to catapult her all the way to super high usage, especially because she is a seasonal unit on a picnic banner that the theme of the picnic banner only happened like once, so not great there. And speaking of not great, Ascended P-Arm's at a range of Regans, that's just a snipe down. And once again, Ascended P-Arm in range of AoE. I don't know why people do this a lot, but of course it's to make sure their save units save all of their units. But against Legendary Lilina as a green unit, you definitely don't want to be taking the AoE damage on top. And so they're just going to surrender here. And once again, another probably save armor. Haven't watched this replay yet. Let's see. Some decent merges, not bad. And, yep, far save party fighter Aegis. So looks like they're gonna go ahead and do a turn 1 pseudo bait. Safe defense goes down, so nothing can happen. But now they're going for the Uncharn, although they do have Brave Hector in range of the AoE, so he takes 40 unnecessary points of damage. They definitely should not have done that. Although if he was above Temeria, I forget how the AI evaluates save targeting. I think still would have targeted Brave Hector.
The hop never stops.
I think the AI understands that the save is going to proc. I'm not entirely sure though. But here they get rid of Odor, of course, because they only have far save on this team.
The hop never stops.
They want to make sure they keep melee threats, but they do have to deal with all the ranged threats. And in particular, Glacier here. Attacking into Brave Hector here, but she wasn't able to really do anything great there. But Ascended Leguard is going to go to town, and they don't have a set here where they recharge Aegis instantly, so thanks to Ascended Leguard's bow and having a bonus on her, she doubles Brave Hector. kill there, and well now there's no match.
Weak.
Go on Frazier and Dragon Effect and being green. Yeah. Classic Naga moment way back in the day. And Duma pivoting with the life. They can definitely win the match still at this point, just a matter if they want to. Looks like they're taking it so far. And got Wings Mercy, so snap down Olivia, and then of course Duma is left to be Duma all by himself. Feels bad, Duma. Forever alone at the end of the Raid's defense match. Alright, both use the structures. Let's see if they want to break the rest of the structures. Probably not. Most people don't do that. Yep, for sure. Looks like they're just going to get a kill here with Thor
Stay
as
resolute.
usual.
I'm ready.
And with that, we had a ton, well, not a ton, but 3 rematches this week. So that's why we have 11 replays, I think. But of course, because of our subtle goose on offense, I don't think 40 lift would have given us enough ranks to be top 1k anyways. This week's top 1k seems pretty intense, or everyone got really close to around where I am, I'm not sure. But nonetheless, we still got top 3k, that's a win for us, and did pretty well in defense, only losing 30 lift, which is about as good as we can ask out of our meme defenses. Of course, Resonant Battle easily cruising back up to 19. Legion's battles, because it is wind and fire season, our plus 10 legendary Lilina gets some use, and we stay top 1k Legion's battles no sweat. If we didn't have her and we're stuck using just our max scoring units slapped together on a team, I don't actually know if we would be top 1k this week in Legion's battles. It was progressively getting worse over the months, so there's that. Meanwhile, we had legendary Celica from summoning on the Legendary Heroes banner with Nana on it, so we got a copy of her, which made our life easier this week for staying or getting back up to tier 21. Very little fishing required. In fact, we just did 5 random runs and got 3820, so we're fine there. We can get more if we really need to, but given there's 203 ranks to spare and only about half an hour left, we should be perfectly fine there. Speaking of arena though, I don't really like now how the bonus rotation changes so much. Makes it hard to plan whether we want to invest into units to stay or not. Kind of de-incentivizes that and more goes towards, and you just consistently have good scoring every week regardless of bonus unit, and for us that's obviously a no. So anyways, we'll be back when the results drop in. Alright, here we go. Well, 1.3k, not that it actually matters. This season's gonna be an absolute nightmare on offense. Medius bonus, just by himself, he's probably going to wreck our team, although Caden Refine is definitely going to help us a lot with guard. For sure, our matchups against some particular units are going to be much better now. But we have to contend with what we're doing on defense. I've already swapped out a general idea of what we're doing, so we're going to run something along these lines. We have attack opening on not to buff Legendary Lilina, but in reality, it's going to be a wasted slot most of the time because people can just have their fire save unit 2 spaces away and just bottleneck with the designated bait unit forward, so that's really if they only sabotage themselves, and of course because we're running double life and death, Milla can hit Sabo attack 100% of the time, I think, on Lilina, which makes it even worse. But meme defense for a reason. And of course, our new level 9 Bolt Tower against Medius is going to be useless. So that'll be fun. But Arena, we should be going back up. And I don't know if we're going to try and stay this week. We do have Jafar reasonably merged up, but I don't know. Top 1k allegiance battles again, which is nice, and well, Arena Assaults Plus is next season. Only other thing to mention is that I goofed and forgot to use my 800 flags last hour, so we lost out on some feathers, of course, because probably would have made cumulative top 1k easily with that, since it is the hour where you make the most points. And of course we would have done better on army rank, but at the end of the day it's probably around 1,000 feathers lost at most, maybe a little more, but not too big of a deal. It's more of the glory of scoring. But we don't try hard voting Gauntlet to absolutely optimize scoring anyways, so that's not too big of a deal. So that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Eth the Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye!